after the first technically RPG video on the channel, Lord have mercy, I'm gonna go back to the shooting. See ya, Space Cowboy. Bang. But I'm certain some of you have heard of this title. As yellow as the sun, gun greener than sewage, and has incomplete triangles for a mouth. It's Alien Hominid, that was originally a Flash game created by Tom Falk and received programming from Dan Paladin. No, Tom Falk created the game and did the programming, with Dan Paladin serving as the artist for the game and making it look like what it is. It started as a Flash game that was released on Newgrounds on August 7th, 2002. What you do in the game is, after the cutscene of an alien hominid crash landing to Earth after something happened, Hominid doesn't know where it is, but this random kid decides to welcome the hominid with open arms. Something tells me he might regret this decision, and you can kill the kid. And with that, you have to deal with an onslaught of these tofu men who want to kill you because your yellow ass is not from this planet, which would only mean these fools have something specific against yellow aliens. Weird. But it's not only them that serve as an obstacle for you to overcome. No, you have this robot which stands in a weird way and flails its arm at you in a weird way. Then you deal with this massive laser. Then when you shoot it enough times, it starts flashing green aggressively, and then the pattern gets faster. First boss done right. Slowly gets more difficult the more you fight with it. Then you deal with more tofu mooks, and their grenade shields become something you can shoot down. Otherwise, prepare to be infuriated with this thrown grenade. I know I did, and after playing this game a lot. Then there is this helicopter dumping missiles on our heads, and we have to shoot the helicopter while also not getting hit by the missiles. After that craziness, we have to fight a gigantic robot with a gigantic fist with this laser shooter which is going up and down. I'm not trying to think dirty-minded here, but this might as well translate to me as the robot waving its dick around. Could potentially scare children, but when you finish contemplating that you shoot the tofu men in their groin, why would you let your kid play this Flash game? Wait, I played this game as a kid. Numerous times even. After killing the giant robot with its own fist putting it out of its final moment of misery, you win. And that's the end of Alien Hominid the Flash get. Oh, there's more. And here we have the Game Boy Advance version, where we do have more to deal with, but it's still condensed compared to the version after this one. Wait, this version came after the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox version? Huh. It was also developed by different people called Tuna Technologies, which makes a lot of sense as to why this version is simply not like the others before it. Don't get it twisted, I can still go back to this version of the game, still have a good time while whooping ass and getting my ass whooped. I'm glad this didn't suffer from Sonic Genesis syndrome, and if you know what I'm talking about, then nice to hear. Trash! If anything, I go to this version the most if I want to play Alien Hominid, but a shorter version of it to satisfy how much time I'm going to put into a certain session for myself when I feel like playing this game in general, and that sounded like that made no sense. Compared to the Flash game version and the console version, the Flash game version is far shorter, which I don't have a problem with, because even every once in a while I'll even go back to play this because I have a lot of memories for this version of the game when I was younger. But when I played the GBA version and they gave more levels, it was still beatable with what it added. I personally did not have much of a problem with it because it was still fun, despite taking this extra stuff from the console version, where for this version, I thought they added a little too much in some parts of the game, becoming dickish for some, if not most, can handle. But speaking of that version, this is considered the full version of Alien Hominid, the full package to experience. This has some kind of story to tell, but I'm gonna get this over with. This guy's chilling in his chair, and a ship is about to pass by Earth. The Tofu Man, who is part of the FBI, sees the ship and presses a button where lightning strikes it down. Why'd he do that? And there's an alien inside. Is the Tofu Man more anxious of the ship or the alien itself? Matter of fact, considering both are capable of causing lethal destruction, answering that wouldn't really matter. On one hand, I can see why the attack was done, suspicion on aliens invading other places and such, but on the other, it looked like it was minding its own business. Afterward, Hominid crash lands and this fat kid helps him up. Look, I know this kid is showing sympathy to something which fell face first, but how do you know this alien won't try to kill you? We were able to do that in the Flash game, but it seems the kid upgraded, because now he resists the shots. But we have more important things to worry about, because the FBI wants our heads, even though they're the reason we are even on Earth in the first place. Next is Russia. Yes, we are fighting the Soviets, and birds we can turn into chicken drumsticks, but they don't look like chickens though. And lastly is Area 51, where we fight vultures, scorpions, a tornado I can barely avoid, or can at all. I'd like to think it's possible, but I'm not good at this game enough to know how to do it. We fight soldiers, avoid mines, robots, destructive machines, and everything else. After the final boss, I won't reveal just yet. Alien Hominid gets a taste of dirt, sees how it destroyed the ship the boss was on, and it at the same time. Wait a minute, but if the boss died, I feel like Hominid should have died too. The fat kids, that's literally what they're called, arrive in time enough to pick Hominid off the ground and put them back in their ship, with the soldiers and their tanks watching from afar, seeing the kids put them in the ship. I'm surprised the soldiers didn't start shooting as soon as they saw the kids help up the alien, who they kept bothering as soon as he entered the area. Now all of a sudden they want to stop? For those of you who are gonna say, that would be too cruel, you shoot a guy in the balls as early as the first level, talking about too cruel. After they send Alien Hominid back up to space, the kids try to make their getaway by taking the truck, making sure they don't get into a bombastic conflict with the helicopters right behind them, only for them to be taken by Alien Hominid. Or it could be another alien ship, I do not have the slightest idea. I quickly collapsed when I compared the GBA to the GameCube version, because there's simply more to do and more to get done. The minigames are back and they are okay. They serve as distractions when you're not playing the main game. To talk about the game itself, I think you get the gist by now. You shoot things and you blow it up. Alien Hominid itself is nimble and agile, a fast alien for a fast game. The gun you have before you get any type of power-ups is infinite ammo, meaning you don't have to use any power-ups, but don't be so damn boring. After you kill a few of these tofu men, you'll see the power-ups drop before you know it. Each power-up has their own aesthetic changes and power to kill all types of enemies at a certain rate. The better power-ups you have, the more kills you can get. It can also shoot down when you're in the air, when you're crouching, and when you're crouching and walking, along with being able to shoot while you're in the air, since you can shoot downward in the air, while also shooting and moving in a direction while you're airborne. Speaking of airborne, when you're in the air, you can do this move when you can jump on your enemies and rip their face off. Seems Alien Hominid can't get enough of their tofu. You can also do this thing where you can go underground and slam your enemy's head into it until the brain explodes. And you can charge your blast. It's like I'm playing Mega Man or something. While you have all this control, your main objective is to run right and shoot everything that gets in your path. You do this for about 5 to 6 stages for each level, while fighting mini bosses and actual bosses, testing your reflexes and common sense, like this machine right here. Shoot the lights in the right order or get shocked. All you have to do is pay attention to the damn pattern. By the way, you have these levels after the ones when you're on foot. You take the spaceship and fight your enemies you were fighting on foot. With spaceships on their own, I don't like these sections because, look, I understand Alien Hominid was in a spaceship at the beginning and crash landed to Earth because the FBI shot him down, but the spaceship control is bull ass. It's awkward as hell, and you gotta move through these big ass areas to find the parts your ship needs in order to go faster. Move around multiple obstacles, cause you'll get your ass whooped if you ain't constantly on the lookout for your health. All types of ships is flying by, and you have to find the parts and weapons you need in a set order. What the hell? Why do I gotta do that? Why can't I simply decide what part I want to use and be on my merry way? And what parts do you get? You get a rocket booster, another rocket booster. This will allow you to move faster, but it comes to a halt, meaning you can't use it too much. And you have this other machine which automatically shoots these red orbs at your ops for extra damage. Then when you finish flying around, when you feel like you've been going nowhere, you have these bosses of the level you have to fight. And these can get a little annoying and chaotic, but you should be good after the fact. But these specific sections are my least favorite part of the game. Another thing to mention is this game's multiplayer, where you can cause twice as much chaos, leaving more of your enemies killed in satisfying ways. Speaking of being killed, whenever you trip, you fall ass up face first. Why did they give you buns?
You freaky frog!
Next thing to talk about for a game like this is its difficulty, and Alien Hominid does not care about who you are. You're going to accept what the game has to offer to you. If you don't like it, too bad. Don't be a little pussy and find a way around it. The enemies and various other obstacles are more than enough to sap away all your lives, but their bosses are a whole different ball game. For the main bosses, we have a robot I talked about earlier when I talked about the Flash version of this game, a bulky one-eyed robot who walks back and forth, has a laser and an arm slam to dodge, along with a rocket race to the sky and falling back down. When its health gets lower, it will lose its arms, but will still repeat its patterns. This flying machine that uses spike, and you gotta kick multiple people out of their cars. Tanks, there's 2 of them. Butterscotch pudding abomination. Running robot, the robot I mentioned earlier that looks like it's waving its robo penis and shooting. Why don't you use your imagination? Avoid the wood chipper and then get on your spaceship they can't take from some reason and take the fireball the machine shoots and drop back on the machine. Fight this airborne robot thing, you gotta shoot the shields off first, then you can damage him actually. Afterward, fighting this rocket thing which alarms the Soviet Union when you blow it up, the frog-looking robot who would shoot these rockets, capable of homing in on you, a robot which takes a hook in the logo and hammers it into the ground as an attack. These 4 legless robotic bears jumping up and down who move past us with this more horde-looking bear absorbing metal and sending it as heated trash, only for the 4 legless robotic bears to want to suddenly run to fade. This machine which has a weird shape to show, only for most of it to be destroyed, and the hat is left with scrolling lasers. This damn agile robot who, if you give them the chance, can shoot a massive orange Kamehameha after it would finish shooting fireballs and rolling into a ball. Guessing the robot is a Sonic and Dragon Ball fan, but to make sure you don't get hit by the laser, use your charge shot if you forgot about it. A train where the conductor wants to kill you with a crane and coal balls that gets lit on fire, to then only be the crane itself serving as a lethal threat, fighting a Soviet member in the ship while beams of light is shooting us. Who's shooting them? Get a hobby, going into space again and shooting whatever you call this. A hairy centipede when we are captured and arrive on Area 51, a ship which is controlled by an angry alien, 2 skull boxes where you shoot the wrong button, voltage increases and shocks the entire area, then Area 51 gates which shoot the same yellow balls that Alien Hominid would. This machine would need a decent amount of concentration when it comes to shooting its light, like the can animation where it's sleeping on the machine, a soldier who uses this machine with walkers and what looks like another dick cannon.
Try it!
I like to think they knew what they were doing. Another one shows up, but you can use the machine itself to help you. This big-ass green robot who's rocking lasers, firebombs, fire itself, and big Hulk hands. Jesus, that facial expression. This demonic-looking robot who also has big-ass hands, is hungry, and shoots all these electric orbs at you at rapid fire. That's funny. How strange. We blew this guy up and out, wants to help us with the soldiers, and finally...
X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real.
I'll bulk your alien hominid to fight against you. It's ship and it's ship, but you're in the air and it's on fire.
Okay.
Enemy enemies you fight would involve the FBI in the first level, the Soviets in the second level, along with Tourette's. With birds, you can turn into drumstick chickens when you kill them, delicious. And in Area 51, we have soldiers, scorpions, and vultures, oh my, and mines and green robots, which walk left and right only for them to get wider and explode from inflation for some reason. Video game. These mostly unavoidable bomb enemies, I'm serious, it's like you can't even dodge these little assholes. For extra things we can do in Alien Hominid, we drive a car and shoot shit up for any vehicle that allows us to drive it, and the sleds in the Soviet levels. Mention them cause they're a little neat. Another thing I can appreciate Alien Hominid for is its visuals. I love the colors here, I love how expressive this game is, even with my ops showing some type of personality like the green robot I mentioned earlier while going at a consistently fast pace. The cutscenes are also done well too, keeping that expression that this game always had. See that? I don't know how to feel about it either. Overall, I love this game. It can clearly get dickish and somewhat unfair. How the hell is anyone supposed to know you can use the charge shot to stop the discount Kamehameha from killing you? I played this game multiple times and I didn't know this until I did it by accident. Thanks, game. But Alien Hominid being a fun running gun with nice looking cartoonish Newgrounds art style, great gameplay, funny expressions, suggestive bosses, nice coloring, great and not so great gameplay changes and creative levels. Can't wait to get to the sequel. They look like they changed a lot. But seriously, I think Alien Hominid is one of the few games that made a desert level fun.
Mozambique, yeah.